there's a reason that my quote unquote brand is called the Emmy Effect. It's my effect. It's my true positiveness. It's my smile. It's my ambition and drive and motivation. That's what is setting me apart. My Emmy Effect is me.
Welcome back to the show, Schmoozers. I am David Cobby, and you're about to listen to another amazing episode of Schmoozing Time, the only show inspiring proud Jews to leverage their personal brands. Before we dive into this episode, make sure you're following the show on whatever platform you're listening on. This ensures you'll never miss an episode. I want you to take a second and ask yourself this question. Am I a confident person? No, really, think about it for a second. Most of the time, I'd hope that the answer is yes. But we all have those crucial moments when the answer is no. And that's okay. And to be honest with you guys, I'm not confident every time I make a video, record an episode, or even reach out to a guest. So it's completely normal. Well, if you're like me and you've struggled with confidence or manifesting certain situations, this week's guest will help change that for you because she's an expert at both. And when I say expert, I mean it. She manifested her way from sitting on the couch watching the Super Bowl in 2023 to performing in the halftime show a year later with Usher. Yes, literally a master at manifesting. Please welcome to the show, founder of the Emmy Effect, Emmie Levy. Emmy, how are we feeling today?
We are feeling great. David, thank you for that intro. It gives me chills. I'm like, wait a second. I did that. I manifested that. So I am so excited to be here to chat with you and share my story and who I am.
Emmy, before this, I was manifesting a great episode. I mean, you have so much energy and confidence, and oh my goodness, this is what you're doing with your platform is absolutely phenomenal. And talking about social media is a platform where you get your confidence knocked down a lot, right? Like, I think we can both agree
100%.
when you're on social media and you're scrolling, your confidence can get knocked down so easily. So before we get really deep into confidence and what that means and manifestation and your story, performing in the halftime show and just everything about you, why don't you give us a quick intro of why you're doing all of this?
Absolutely. I will share it all. So for those listening or watching who have no idea who I am, my name is Emmie Levy. I'm the founder of the Emmy Effect. I'm a confidence and manifesting coach for children and young adults. However, confidence has no age limit. So happy to inspire whoever is listening. And I created the Emmy Effect, an hour-and-a-half workshop to inspire these children, young adults to build their inner confidence that they already have within them. They just need the tools and the tips and the tricks to bring it out of them and help them manifest their dreams, just as I did my own, like you shared, dancing in the Super Bowl halftime show alongside Usher.
I mean, that the fact that you got to dance alongside Usher is absolutely phenomenal. And we talk about this idea of confidence and manifesting. And I actually just put out a post literally like 10 minutes ago talking about how confidence in the Jewish community is at an all-time low right now. I think we could both agree on that, right? Like everything that's happened, I'm not even going to go into the negative details because it's being put on the news all the time and everybody knows what's going on. But it's hard to be Jewish right now. I think there's no doubt in my mind that there's hard to be Jewish, and a lot of Jewish people are scared. So as somebody that's a proud Jew and a confidence coach, I got to ask you, are you a confident Jew right now? Like, is there any part of you that is not confident in your Jewish beliefs?
Yeah, that is a very interesting question because, I mean, especially what is going on as of late, yesterday, today, everything happening currently, it's scary. It's scary. It's tough. It's hard to have faith in what we have known to have faith in. But on the flip side, you see so many Jewish, not only creators and content creators, but you see your community coming together, which is that is what I have the confidence in, that as a community, as a Jewish community together, no matter if you know someone or you don't, when you have that commonality of being Jewish, the confidence in that relationship is kind of what's instilling that faith in me, if that makes sense.
I think everybody needs that confidence when, especially we're
Mm.
talking about Judaism and just social media in general. But to go deeper into your Jewish background, I think one thing for you, and I don't mean to like out you here, is one of the things that you said on the phone when we were talking is when you were younger, you didn't really resonate with the Jewish community so much, right? When you were, I think you said in high school or college, you didn't have that good, solid group of Jewish friends. So can you go into a little bit about your Jewish background growing up and maybe why you weren't confident to be Jewish back then? You weren't as confident to be Jewish back then as you are now.
Yeah, so I've definitely got misinterpreted on the phone because
Okay.
I am confident to be Jewish and very proud of it. My upbringing, I grew up in a Jewish household, attended a Jewish preschool, I had a bat mitzvah. The theme was the Emmy Awards.
Love
It
it.
was, yeah, Judaism has always been a part of my identity and a very special part. I felt myself navigating it and gravitating towards, trying to figure out like what exactly does it mean to be Jewish as I grew up. I didn't have a lot of Jewish friends in high school. I had a couple here and there, we'd hang out, we go to Hebrew school together, we'd go to bat mitzvahs together. So definitely still had that in my life. I mean, my family friends, all of my family friends are Jewish. I am still very close with them today. But, being the only Jewish one in my friend group in high school, in college, it was a little scary because, the way the world is, Judaism is looked at in a very negative lens, especially today, especially back then. And it was tough, trying to share my Jewish foundation and my background and trying to express to people, the perception, not the perception, we might have to cut that out.
You're good.
Just trying to navigate, being a Jewish woman in the world, in a world full of a bunch of people who aren't Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was in college, I was a part of this group called Sinai Scholars. It basically was like Hebrew school for
Yep.
Hebrew school in college.
Yep.
And there was a point, so I ended going to Hebrew school when I was in middle school. So from middle school until college, I didn't really have that Judaism as I don't even know how you would explain it, but it was kind of missing. It was so consistent in Hebrew school, in middle school, and then it kind of lacked, and then it picked back up in college. So when I was able to have that opportunity to do Sinai Scholars, I took it full force and really reconnected with what is important to me and my Jewish background.
And Sinai Scholars was, correct me if I'm wrong, that's through Chabad, correct?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. We love Chabad, and I think literally every guest that's come on my show just has like an incredible Chabad story and where'd you go to college, by the way?
I went to Oneonta. It's upstate New York.
Okay,
And
got
it
you.
has a very little Jewish population, but a very strong little Jewish population, if that makes sense. The
Hmm.
rabbi who runs the Chabad, his name is Meir, and his wife Frady, they are such warm, welcoming people that they are like, our doors are open. Anyone who wants to
Right.
come in for Shabbat any night, come on in. We'll take you. So while it was a smaller community, it felt very strong to me.
I love that. And to go back a second, I know we were just talking about college, but I think one of the things about you and your brand and how you present yourself is that you're a very giving person. And I mean,
Thank you.
just to talk, of course, and just to talk about the beginning of the episode when I mean, you're dedicating your time to confidence building for young people, which is a huge issue, and we could have a whole podcast episode alone on like what's wrong about that. But I guess for somebody like you, right, you went through high school, you went through college, and in high school in particular, I know that you had the opportunity to create to give back in a way by creating bracelets that represented awareness for suicide. So I think if you could talk about that, how you started that in high school and how that kind of set the path for you to eventually found the Emmy Effect.
Definitely. So it's actually so interesting. You happen to be the first or one of the first podcasts to ask me about this part of the Emmy Effect.
Well,
When
you told me about it, so I had to ask about
I
it.
did tell you about it. So though kind of the way that the Emmy Effect began was way back when, without me even realizing that this is how it was getting its start. In high school, a friend and I, a Jewish friend and I, had a small business where we sold these bracelets. It was called choice bracelets. You choose the way you live your life. There were 5 different colors. Each color meant a different thing. They came with a little question card. It shared what that adjective meant to us. And then at the bottom, it said, what does this mean to you? What does courage mean to you? What does confidence mean to you? What does love mean to you? And these bracelets kind of was the beginning pathway of the trajectory of my life to where it is right now. And the proceeds went to teen suicide prevention organizations.
Wow.
And it wasn't until post college that I really understood the importance of confidence and self-esteem from creating these bracelets. And this experience of having a small business, but having it go towards such a powerful cause showed me the power in creating something with meaning behind it. I also wrote my high school essay on confidence and manifesting and choice bracelets. So it was kind of foreshadowing the path that I would later take to lead me to now.
Oh my goodness. That's
Yeah.
remarkable that I
Yeah.
mean
Thank
at
you.
such a young age. I mean you're in high school and you're already giving back. Like when I was in high school, all I cared about was sports and being popular and all this stuff. Like I that's just like remarkable to me. And I think there's a real issue with confidence and mental, oh my goodness, mental health for young people right now is terrible. I've had my struggles with mental health. I think really at this point a lot of people have. And I think with high school in particular, it's so hard. For me it was I was going from a small Jewish day school to a public school, and it was high school was probably one of the hardest time period, one of the hardest like 4 years of my life where
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily feel like I was confident in myself. I didn't necessarily feel like I had the capability to do anything I wanted to, just because it was really the first time that I felt alone. But I think there's another piece of this equation to why so many teens struggle with mental health now, whether it's, I don't know, drug addiction or social media or just in general. The world now is just not very kind to teens.
No,
And
it's
as
not.
as somebody that works with teens and young children today, like what do you think the root of the problem is, really?
So it's interesting because sharing a little bit about social media, it's a double-edged sword. I mean, social media, that's how we got connected. That's how I
Yes.
made majority of my connections starting out this Emmy Effect. And it's been
Hmm.
great. It's such an awesome platform to connect with people all over the world. Then you have the flip side of it, where you have such negative information and videos and things that are being shared that kids at a young age now have more access to social media than they once did. And it's scary. I mean, I didn't have social media until I was in 8th grade. I wasn't allowed. I'm so glad I wasn't allowed because it would have changed who I am. When you are seeing and hearing the same kind of negative influence, that your brain starts to think that way.
Hmm.
Things that are drawn towards you, that you see, that you watch, that you read, have an effect on your everyday life. So that's number one. But I really also think it's the world we live in today, which is such a sad thing to say. But just like social media, kids are growing up with parents who, yes, I grew up with loving parents. I'm thrilled with the way that my upbringing was, but you see some young kids that their role models are, without even realizing it, maybe they might be self-deprecating, maybe they might be negative, maybe they might be glass half empty. When an adult or a role model or a TV character or a celebrity that you like presents themselves in that negative headspace, that's only translated to the younger generation. And that's where I think the fatal flaw is, which is why I try so hard to flip the narrative and try to show people that you can focus on glass half full, even though the world around you might be negative or might not be as smiley as you would like it to be. The things that people are taking in on an everyday basis, you can choose to focus, like I said with the choice bracelets, you can choose the way you live your life. You can choose to focus on the negative. I find that when you focus on the negative, you're only looking at the bad things that happen in your day. But take a second. Is it a bad day or is it a bad 5 minutes? That entire little thought process changes your whole day. But if you choose to focus on the good gets better. And maybe not initially, maybe not right away, but that's the mindset that I kind of like to present. So hoping to change that for younger generations and generations to come.
The point about role models and kids looking up to other adults is actually very fascinating. I think it's very easy to blame social media now, which it is a big problem. But my grandma, who used to be a preschool teacher, would always tell me and my brothers and my cousins that when a kid misbehaves or doesn't do something that is good or whatever it is, she said that it's the parent's fault. And I would always think like, oh, that's pretty harsh to say that, right? Like that you can't really control your kid. But now that I think about it more and more, and I'm actually reading this book called Atomic Habits right now, which talks about like how it's a great book, by the way. It talks about like how your habits literally change everything for yourself. But also I'm thinking about this as like somebody that's older, right? Like I'm still 22. Like I'm nobody below me that I'm responsible for. So, but I would imagine like that has a trickle down effect of like, if you are a parent and you don't do something in the right way, not only does it have consequences for you, but also it has consequences on your child. So it's just a very interesting point that you bring up, that it's not fully on social media. Like, sure, social media is a very big problem, but really it may come down to parenting or role models or these other people that kids look up to.
Yep. Even honestly, let's say a parent and child are walking down the street, they're passing someone who could be on the phone and could be speaking very negatively. It's the influence that the world has, that if they're around negative, they're going to be like, okay, well, I guess that's how I'm supposed to. They don't know any better. These children are growing up and they're basing their life kind of on their influences and on their surroundings.
Mm-hmm. Can I ask you a tough question?
I love tough questions.
Okay, so you, to some people, may seem like you're too positive, right? Like you talk about this idea. So do you stand by that like you're too positive?
So calling it too positive is interesting. Like what makes me seem too positive to you? I'm curious.
I just think, well, I'm a very optimistic person. Like I'm like you. I have that same belief of like, you could literally turn a negative into a positive, whatever. And like, but people have been like, that's not realistic to me. And I've said that. And I don't think I'm too positive. Where you one up me is the fact that you were sitting on your couch watching the Super Bowl and you're like, I'm going to go dance in the Super Bowl in a year. Like that to me makes you on the edge of too positive. Like, how can you really manifest that? So going back to the question, like, do you really think like there are times where like you are over positive and it hurts you? Or do you think like keeping that same energy 24/7 of like, I'm positive, I'm going to attack the world in a positive lens, like actually doesn't hurt you in any way?
Yeah. So I would say, at least for the Super Bowl, I wouldn't call it too positive. I'd almost call it ambitious and persistent.
Okay.
I wanted it badly. And when you want something, there is no stopping you. You are full force. You will do whatever it takes. On the flip side, there are things that happen in life where I will be negative, and I share that with my friends and my family, that there are some times where I've wanted something so badly and I didn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
But to sit in that negative, yes, feel your feelings. I am the most emotional person I know. I cry at the snap of a second. Trust me, there are times where I am just feeling down. But what good is that going to do if you're sitting in that negative? The negative only attracts more negative. So yes, to the average person, I come across more smiley and more positive than they would think. Some people call it delusional. You know what? That's the way I want to live my life. And I was like, I watched the Super Bowl halftime show. I said, I'm going to be in it. I watched it on my couch. I looked at my roommate. I said, I'm going to do that. She said, can I curse? Am I allowed to curse on this podcast?
Yeah, go for it. Absolutely.
I said, what? She was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I told my parents. They were like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you're going to be in the Super Bowl halftime show? I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to figure it out somehow, some way. I don't know how and I don't know when. But if I have a negative mindset about it, I'm not going anywhere. A negative mindset to me is like a door blocked. The positive mindset is a door open. You don't know where it's leading you. I jumped head first, not knowing there was no safety net. I wanted it so badly that I was going to do anything to get it. So to answer your question, sometimes I can be too positive, but all right, whatever. I got a smile on my face, always.
I guess being too positive gets you to go dance in the halftime show at the Super Bowl, which, I mean, I would be shocked if there was another person listening to this that did the same thing, which, by the way, if you did, please reach out to Emmy. But the Super Bowl halftime show, like, I mean, it's literally like you have everybody's watching it, like eyeballs on eyeballs on eyeballs. Like, I forgot what the viewership number was this year. I think it was like 167 million or something for this year's Super Bowl. But I mean, for you to be too positive, or for you to be positive about being that, is one thing. Like, I'm sure there are several hundreds of thousands of people like you that had the same thing of like, oh, I want to be in the halftime show one day, but they say, I want to be in the halftime show. You're different. You said, I'm going to be in the halftime show. And not only did you say that, but you also meant that. You told me you sent hundreds and hundreds of emails and text messages and phone calls. So you did all this work just to be in a halftime show. That's what, 30 minutes, right? It
was 13 minutes.
13 minutes. Sorry. What was the significance behind that? Like, why did you want to be in this halftime show so badly?
I wanted a dream to come true of mine. I have danced my whole life. I grew up dancing, but because I am the way I am, I was at a competitive studio, but I wasn't a competitive person. I was on the competition team. If we won, great. We were getting ice cream afterwards. If we lost, whatever. We were getting ice cream afterwards. I didn't care. I was happy to be there. I was happy to be a part of a team. I was happy to be with my friends dancing. I was happy to be doing what I love to do. Taking it multiple notches up is this halftime show. And I sent out, so after watching the Rihanna halftime show in 2023, I started to do all my research, email anyone I could find that had anything to do with the halftime show. I didn't hear a response until December of 2023. I continued to email that entire time. I reached out to the Raiders because I knew that they play at Allegiant Stadium. I didn't know what I was doing. I know nothing about sports. I was reaching out to the head coach. I was getting nothing back. Nothing. Zero. I wasn't hearing anything back. And I was like, all right, I'm going to be persistent. I want to do this. I want to be in the halftime show, and I'm going to make it happen somehow. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy.
God. And what was that like when you finally got the email? Like, what was that process like? Like, were you just like, okay, let me rephrase the question. Were you surprised when you got the email that said, congratulations, you can come audition for the halftime show? Or were you not surprised at all?
So let me tell you what happened. I sent all these emails February 2023 to December of 2023. I heard nothing. December of 2023, I got an email back and it said, "We see you. We see every single one of your emails." I almost wish they told me how many emails I wrote, because that would have been just, I would have been peeing in my pants looking at how many emails I sat down to write. They sent me an email. They said, "We see you. Here's an audition link. Good luck." So that was just step one. Like, I had gotten the audition, but I didn't make it into the halftime show yet. So I record my audition video, try my best. It felt like I was making up a dance in my basement, like I was 10 years old at a sleepover. And I sent it in, and it was up to the universe. Like, that's all that I could have done up to that point. And 2 weeks following, I heard back round 1, round 2, round 3. And then finally they said, "You will know in 48 hours if you got it or if you didn't." 48 hours went by and I heard nothing. And my too positive self went totally too negative. And I was like, how is this possible? I made it this fucking far to not hear back anything. I shared before, I'm so into manifesting and creating these wild dreams into a reality. With manifesting, I love to journal. I love writing things down. I love to see them on paper, on a napkin, on a Post-it, on a tissue, whatever it is. If I have something in my brain, I'm going to write it down. While I was sending out my emails, I was writing down, I am going to be in the halftime show. I made it as specific as possible. I'm going to dance with Usher. I'm going to Las Vegas. I will be in the halftime show with whoever the special guests are. And that night, when I didn't hear back anything, I went back to my journal and I read through all of it. And I thought, you know what? Universe or God or whoever, show me a sign why I was so persistent and why I felt like I could visualize it. A lot of people in the manifesting woo-woo world say that if you can visualize something in your brain, there's a reason. There's a reason that thought came to you. I went to sleep that night. I woke up still a little negative because I was like, all right, next day, here we go. I opened up my computer and saw the email. It said, "Congratulations, you're dancing in the Super Bowl halftime show. We'll see you in Vegas on Tuesday." This was Sunday. So I had to completely flip my life upside down, but for the best reason possible.
Wait. I didn't know this part. You got the email the Tuesday. Wait. The Tuesday before the Super Bowl, you got the email.
No. They sent me an email. They said, it was on Sunday. They said, "We'll see you on Tuesday." That Tuesday was a 2-week span until the Super Bowl halftime show.
Oh, but
so I was in Vegas for 2 weeks.
That's still incredible. That is. I mean, even what, 3 weeks out, I mean, you don't know that you're gonna get this, right? You literally had to like forego everything, and wow,
my whole life I had to, and I couldn't tell anyone why I was going. I was like, I am leaving for 2 weeks, but I can't really share why. But I'll be back soon.
So the NFL has like a NDA that they make you sign, or what?
The NFL, the halftime show, Rock Nation. I signed a million NDAs, and I wanted to experience this halftime show experience with someone. So my mom and I went together for the 2 weeks we were there. And
So
after every rehearsal in the car, she'd be like, "Okay, what happened?" I'd be like, "Well," and I literally would tell her everything because I couldn't keep it. The day I met Usher, I was like, "Mom, you will not believe who I hung out with today." And for the next 2 weeks, it was like I was having a play date with Usher, and I could not believe it.
My God. And aside, obviously, Usher was the headliner, and I'm sure he's a great guy. I like his music, but how about the other people there? Like, what were their stories? Like, also kind of crazy stories like you, or a little bit different?
So a lot of the people, I didn't even realize this was a thing, but a lot of dance studios, especially because the halftime show and the Super Bowl was being held in Las Vegas, it was a lot of people from the West Coast. I only met one other girl who came from the East Coast, and funny enough, from Long Island. I was like,
Oh my God.
Look at this, a friend.
It's crazy.
But a lot of people came with their dance studios. Their dance studios, I guess, had an audition. They reached out somehow and came with a company. When I auditioned, they actually ask, they have you say your name, your height, your age, whatever. and they say, are you affiliated with a dance company or an agency or whatever?
Mhm.
I was just me. I was just a girl with a dream who wanted to be in the halftime show, which is what I said in my audition video. I said, I'm not affiliated with anyone. It's just me. So a lot of other people got to experience this with their dance teams or with their talent agencies or whatever it is. My story is a little bit different. And I loved getting to meet everyone and hear how we all came to be in this one crazy opportunity.
That is absolutely incredible. I've heard a lot of like crazy stories on this podcast. That might be like that's got to be the biggest manifest out there. Like actually unbelievable. That is
Yeah.
incredible. And
Thank you.
after of course, and after everything was over, right? It obviously helped your brand and reputation for the Emmy Effect. But the Super Bowl halftime show itself, 13 minutes of glory and fame, was it really hyped up like you see it on TV? Like was it really that exciting, or was there part of you that got a little bit let down?
It was nuts, especially because I've never been to a football game. I don't really care for sports, which is a crazy part of my story.
Crazy.
Besides Super Bowl, I also work for the Knicks. So I don't care about sports at all, but this happens to be my life. Anyways, the energy in the stadium, they gave us little earbuds that like kind of look like these, and they wanted to be able to talk to us while the performance was happening, if any changes needed to be made. I took my headphones out when we ran out onto the field because I wanted to hear what the stadium sounded like. I wanted to be where my feet are. I love that quote, live in the moment, be exactly where you are. And I took my headphones out, and it was so loud that it was quiet. And that sounds crazy, and it's kind of strange, but
Yeah.
it was like deafening a little bit how much people were cheering. And it almost, in a very weird ego way, felt like they were cheering for me and my journey that from February of 2023 to now February of 2024, where I've come. So it was crazy. It was definitely, the energy was up. I almost think the energy was the same level at rehearsals. I mean, you're getting to see behind the scenes of, I mean, each day Usher would bring in one new person that he was going to have in the entire halftime show. So it was Usher and Alicia Keys. People were freaking out. I was hysterical crying. Usher, Alicia Keys, and Lil Jon. Each day was new. So the energy was always up, and there was always something more exciting coming. But the entire time I remained grateful for the fact that I made this my life.
That's absolutely incredible. And
Yeah.
how did this help? I know you correct me if I'm wrong, but you started the Emmy Effect. Was it before the Super Bowl or it was after?
It was after. I started the Emmy Effect. I officially launched in March,
Okay.
but didn't have my first event until May. So it hasn't even been a full year. When I was in Vegas, the Emmy Effect, I mean, the logo of it, this little heart, was on a t-shirt. And my roommate said to me recently, when it was like the year anniversary of Dancing in the Halftime Show, she said it started out as a shirt, but it's now an entire empire that you've created. And just thinking about the fact that when I was there and having the time of my life and this manifestation coming to reality, the Emmy Effect wasn't a thing. It was me. It's my effect on the world, but I don't really like calling it a brand, but my brand of the Emmy Effect wasn't even born.
Right. That's just it. I think really that's literally the point that I've trying to get across with this podcast is one, a brand is not what people think it is. I think the word brand is very misconstrued because I was a marketing major. Like I could yap about branding for like hours. Personal branding is not, it's very miscued. It's exactly like what you were saying, where you have the energy, you have the confidence, and you have the skills to go do something, and then you do it, and then you tell that story. That's personal branding in a nutshell. So I really think it's like no accident that the Emmy Effect really started to take off after then. And really, if you think about it, it's kind of funny. Performing in the Super Bowl halftime show really caused the Emmy effect to happen, right? If there was no halftime show, do you think it would have still happened, or do you think it still would have happened, or do you think you would have been doing something else?
Yeah, interesting question, because yes, the Super Bowl, it shows that your wildest dreams can come true. If I can do it, you can do it, that kind of mentality. But I think the Emmy effect would have happened regardless. I don't know when, if the Super Bowl wasn't to have happened, but this has been brewing kind of my whole life. I mean, this is just always who I am, the type of person that I want others, I always give others their flowers, let them have their moment to shine. But I want them to feel confident in themselves when they are shining and be able to present themselves in a positive way and feel good about the things that they're doing and providing to the world. So at some point, this would have come about when I went to Audition. I studied to be a teacher. I have my degree in childhood education, New York State certified. So I have that facilitator piece within me always. I was a camp counselor for years and years and years. And just something about working with kids I knew I wanted to do, but not in a classroom setting. So, I mean, I hope in another life this would have been born at some point, but I'm glad
Right.
the way that it kind of unfolded for me.
Yes. And talking about the Emmy effect, you mentioned that it's essentially a 90-minute session typically where you go into whether it's a camp or into a group of young people. And like I guess sorry, let me back up. You talk about the Emmy effect being a 90-minute session where you coach a group of young students, whether that's in a school setting or a camp setting. And there's just a lot of different things that you can do to install confidence in people, right? You can give them a motivational speech. You can, I know you're going to start doing, or you already started doing the journals and all these other amazing things. So in that 90 minutes, like, what is your goal with, I know it's a group of people, right? Sometimes it's more than, 10, 20. The groups could get pretty big. What is your goal for each individual to walk out of that setting with? Like, what do you want them to feel when they walk away from those 90 minutes with you?
Yeah, the first word that comes to my mind is empowered. Growing up, I love that word, empowered. The first two letters are M, which makes me feel like that word resonates
Yes.
with me. But each session is very different. The age range, like I shared in the beginning, confidence doesn't stop at a certain age. Well, I'm a confidence coach for children and young adults. I've done the event for college age kids. I'm about to do one for a mom group. Confidence is key through all across the board. So within the event, I actually, at the end of each event, ask each kid what they took out of it. And at the end of the event, I'll show you, I have one right here. I give out this bracelet. It's a little
I
Emmy
love
Effect
it.
bracelet. Um, and I give them a bracelet. I say,
Hmm.
this bracelet is magic. I don't care what age the kids are. I tell them that it's magic because it's like a placebo effect. When you hear that something is magic, you believe that it's magic. And then that's how you present yourself in the universe. I
Hmm.
say, this bracelet, I want you to look down at this bracelet whenever it is you're wearing it and think about what you took away from this event. It could be different. Each kid could take something different away. You have kids who walk into this event. Some kids come in, their shoulders are back, they're standing real tall. They think that they're the shit when they walk in. Then you have kids who walk in and they're like, what's going to happen? Oh my God, she's going to teach me tools how to stand up for myself and how to be confident in myself and how my craziest dreams can come true. So
Hmm.
I tell them, take a look at your bracelet on your wrist and think about something that resonated with you in this event and carry that with you pretty
Hmm.
much through your life. And within the event, I share my story. We make little journals, but we play my card game. And it takes affirmations. I'm beautiful, I'm confident, I'm strong. It turns them into question form. Where do you feel the most beautiful? How can you make a friend feel confident? And with those questions, it helps them reflect not only on the others around them, but themselves. So there's a lot that could be taken away from this event. It really depends on the individual.
That sounds like something that literally, and I'm not trying to be cliche here, it sounds like something that literally everybody could use, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I
A hundred
definitely feel
percent.
like there are moments where I'm not confident to do something, but you just got to do it. And the
Mm-hmm.
coaching slash, I mean, I don't want to label you as a therapist because that's not what you are, but you are helping people's mental health. But so that space has become super, super, I feel like it's become a lot broader now, right? Where you have
Mm-hmm.
everything from something specific to a business coach to a therapist, right? Where a
Mm-hmm.
therapist can really deal with anything. So
Right.
for you in the coaching space, which is becoming a lot more competitive, but also it's becoming a lot more needed. Like, how are you setting yourself apart from other people that are doing kind of the same thing as you? As like their mission is to build confidence, but I guess like how are you trying to set yourself apart from other confidence coaches and other professional coaches?
Definitely. So there's a reason that my quote unquote brand is called the Emmy Effect. It's my effect. It's my true positiveness. It's my smile. It's my ambition and drive and motivation. That's what is setting me apart. Yes, anyone can spread confidence. I hope that they do. I hope that they change the world for the better. My Emmy Effect is me. I'm presenting, I guess, my mindset and how I view the world and view challenges and view things that come my way, how I'm going to face them in a positive way, in a changing my mindset type of way. Just really focusing on, that you can do it. Like it sounds cliche, like it's totally the Nike logo, but like you can do whatever you put your mind to do. And more recently than not, I've been seeing all these, I guess they're TikToks or Reels or whatever they are, and it shows like all of these celebrities who got their start at an older age. And it shows you that no matter what age you are, confidence doesn't stop at a certain age. You can do whatever you set your mind to do. So with my program, I mean, I hope that the card game sets it apart a little bit. The fact that while I do say it's for any age, I'm a confidence coach for children and young adults. And being that influential person, I don't like calling myself an influencer at all, but being that influential person for these young kids, they're the younger generation. They're going to grow up and be the role models for those younger kids. So hoping to change the world with my effect. But yeah, that's what I would say sets me apart.
It's not a brand, guys. It's an effect. I
It's an
like how
effect.
I like how you are pushing back against this idea of
Mm-hmm.
branding. And yeah, by the way, Nike stole literally their slogan "Just Do It" is incredible because everybody should have that same mentality. And I could not resonate with your message more, Emmy, because I think so many. Not only do I need it, like I'm gonna be vulnerable here for a second. Like I need
Do
this
it. Go
all
for
the
it.
time. Like I like there are times where like I feel like I don't need to, or there are times where I feel like I don't want to or feel like doing a podcast episode or editing or going to the gym or going to work. Like there are so many times where like I'm like, I don't need to do this. And I need the confidence to say I can get through this hard day because like I'm a tough guy. That's literally my mentality. So to
Yeah.
see that you're taking it a step farther and saying, listen, this is who I am. I'm going to create an effect on other people. That is absolutely like priceless. So keep doing what you're
Thank
doing. It
you.
is absolutely phenomenal, Emmy. And
Thank you. I really
before,
appreciate that.
of course, and I really mean it. Like the fact that you're also not looking at this as like, oh, I'm gonna make money off of this. Like, no, this is an opportunity for you to really make a difference in other people's lives. And at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. So I really applaud you for everything that you're doing, and obviously for coming on the show today. I don't know what I did to deserve to hear your story. Like I was absolutely blown away, Emmy. So thank you for coming on the
Thank
show.
you.
And before I let you go, where can people find you on social media and reach out to you? I'm sure people are gonna need to book you. Like, come on now.
So I love connecting with anybody over social media, over email, on Instagram and TikTok. You can find me at the Emmy Effect. The card game, if you're interested, is payhip.com/the Emmy Effect. And I mean, through email, send me a DM. I love connecting with people. It's my favorite thing. It's what makes the world go round. So whoever's out there who wants to connect, here I am.
She likes to schmooze, guys. Don't hesitate. She loves to schmooze. By the way, what's your personal TikTok handle?
My personal TikTok handle is Schmoozdog. It's been that since TikTok has come out. I don't know how long that's been, but a long time. I love it. I think schmoozing is it's more than talking. It's really the art of conversation and connecting. So
yes,
I love it. I love it. Schmooze forever.
I'm so glad you enjoyed this week's episode of Schmoozing Time. Thank you so much for tuning in. In addition to sharing this episode with someone, make sure you follow on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube Shorts. Also, make sure you're following the show on Apple Podcasts and or Spotify. Until next time, keep schmoozing.